Hi guys, my name is Natalie Ward. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the difficulties that military families face. This is a pretty common occurrence for us. We live near Whiteman Air Force Base. We see B-2s and T-38s flying over all the time. But for these people that don't live maybe quite as near an Air Force base, it's a pretty cool thing. Military people are people we come in contact with daily because there are so many of them in Warrensburg and the surrounding areas. My dad was just recently retired from the Air Force after 23 years, so I grew up my entire life in the Air Force, moving every 2 to 3 years or so. I've lived in 8 different states, and that's actually not very many for those of you who are accustomed to Air Force movements, and I suppose other branches as well. So 3 of the difficulties I'm going to talk about today are professional licensing, college tuition, and orthodontics. Professional licensing is something that many military spouses struggle with. According to the National Military Family Association, 56% of military spouses work outside the home, whereas civilian spouses, there are 70% or higher. Now, why such a huge gap between these? It all comes down to the professional licensing and how that regards to the frequent moves that military families face. There are lots of obstacles if a military spouse, mainly wives, face if they want to get licensed, have a job outside the home. Even after they get the education, the licenses, jump all the hurdles necessary to get those, who's going to hire someone that knows that they may have to move in the next 2 or 3 years? Many employers will, if there are 2 equal candidates, they'll choose the one that they know is going to stay in the area forever, not going to move more frequently, because they want someone who will stay invested in their company. The issue is that there is very little license portability and laws regarding that. You see here, the green states are the ones that, as of 2012, had some sort of legislation that supported license portability, meaning that when a military family moves to a new state, a spouse that has a job, maybe working as a nurse, a doctor, a dental hygienist, lab techs, physical therapists even, there was some sort of law that allowed them to continue practicing in the new state, if it was one of those green ones, without having to renew their license or go through any sort of testing to get that license again, even if they'd already been practicing for years. Now, only 23 of these states have these laws. Now, that is a lot, but that's still less than half. The main issue with that is that even among these 23 states, regional professional boards and organizations still have precedence even over these portability laws, which means that if, for example, like the Western Region Dental Hygiene Association decided that they don't want to accept your license, they don't have to. They can make you go through all the testing all over again and get your license, and even if you've been practicing for years, they treat you as if you've just come out of school and are not licensed to practice yet. This is an example. My family is moving to Las Vegas in May. My mom is a dental hygienist. I'm pretty sure I told you that in my last speech. I talk about her a lot. She's a good topic. To pass their national board exam, it's called national even though it differs greatly by region. My mom has been practicing dental hygiene here in Missouri for a while now, and even though, or because the state of Nevada won't recognize her license, she has to go through a lot of stuff to get that license and to be able to practice in Nevada when they move. For instance, it is a $900 exam. You don't even know if you're going to pass it. You have to upfront pay $900 just to go in and clean somebody's teeth and prove that you know how to do it. Another issue is you have to take the test in the state that you're going to be practicing in. So she has to go to Nevada, take a test. She has to find her own patient for that test. So even though we know no one in Nevada, she has to go out there, screen people, go to Walmart's or wherever, and find people to screen and that are willing to take a day off work to come get her teeth cleaned, maybe hoping that she'll pass this test. Unfortunately, a certain percentage of these people still fail the test. And actually that's unfortunate what happened to my mom last week, so kind of brings this point home a little bit. My next point is college tuition. You know, most kids want to go to college, and they start making those decisions when they're maybe a freshman in high school. They start looking at, oh, I'd like to go here. I want to do these extracurriculars in high school so that I can plan ahead and try to get into this school one day. Unfortunately, in-state tuition is really hard because they only get tuition, or in-state tuition, in a specific state or their parent happens to be licensed at the exact time. Now, if a family moves over the summer, which is often for military families, they can't, the student can't get in-state tuition in that state if their family has just moved away over the summer, even if they've lived there for years beforehand. Average family moves about every 2 to 3 years, so that makes it even more difficult. And higher rankings, you move usually every year. Orthodontics, another big hurdle. TRICARE is the military benefit program. They cover health, dental, eye exams, etc. Different orthodontists choose different methods and how to approach what order to do certain things with orthodontics. As such, they won't ensure previous orthodontists or future orthodontists' work. So when a family moves and kids have braces, they have to take the braces off before they move to the new place and get them back on to finish the program. Additionally, you often pay all the orthodontists upfront or several months in advance, so there's lots of money lost there. Are my sources, and thank you.